Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now. Everybody, I'm sitting here with Creighton. He's the person who helps me make sure that the Locker Gnome Daily Report gets edited and uploaded to YouTube every weekday, and is a good part of the team because I would not want to do all that video editing on my own. He has recently purchased, about a week ago, the Canon 5D Mark III, and we've just shot a video, not recording it with this camera, but with this camera, talking about your initial impressions with it, you know, what brought you to purchasing that product. And I thought it would be really interesting, even though the 5D Mark III is in a completely different class than the T3i, the T4i. This happens to be my Canon T3i, which I'm looking to sell, by the way. I thought it would be interesting for you to give us your thoughts or the comparisons, having used a T2i, very similar to a T3i. There are differences, certainly. What are the bigger differences between the T3i's, the T4i's, the T2i's, and let's say the Canon 5D Mark III?
Okay, well, the first big difference is that the 5D Mark III is a full-frame camera. Something like your T2i's, T3i's, T4i's are a cropped frame camera. So if you have a lens such like this, you're actually multiplying your focal length by 1.6.
Okay. So take that down into human speak for me for just a moment. Okay. I get it, but clarify it.
So full frame is the size of the sensor inside of the camera. 35 millimeters is what is in, I believe it's 35 millimeters, you can correct me if I'm wrong, is the size of the sensor inside of this camera. And it is full frame because that's pretty much the standard that's been used for movies and has just been out there. Like if you look at film cameras, those are 35 millimeter cameras. Canon has something like this, which is a crop frame camera, so it's a little bit smaller than it, about 1.6 smaller than it.
So basically the image quality is not as, it's not going to be as good?
It really has to do with resolution, but yes, some of the image quality, if you compare them to these cameras, are definitely degraded. This is 24.5 megapixels, where that is, I think, 16 megapixels.
But and to come back to your point, it's not just about megapixels. It's about the size of the sensor, and that's
bigger sensor allows for more light, allows for
less noise in lower light, right? Yes. Despite which lens you happen to be using, because we're talking about DSLR, which is more in the prosumer range with the T3, T2i, T4i series, and more in the upper professional series. And you certainly see that not just in the actual camera features itself and the size of the sensor, certainly, but also in pricing. I mean, this is about twice as expensive as this.
Yes. It also comes with a lot of like weather sealing as well. So I can go out, shoot in the rain, and this camera's going to be just fine because the whole body is weather sealed, made out of magnesium.
I didn't know that.
Your body of the T4i is not weather sealed, so if you were to go out, shoot in the rain, there's a chance that you could break it.
Okay, that's good to know because we live in Seattle or the Seattle area. This is a T3i, by the way. Okay. But I assume that if it's not on the T4i, it's certainly not on the T3i. Your body looks to be a bit bigger.
Yes, so it is a bit bigger to accommodate the. If you want to hold it too, you can feel the weight difference.
Yeah, but it's not. It doesn't feel too front heavy. I mean,
well, that's because the body is a bit weightier, so it balances between the lens and the camera body itself. So that definitely
it's certainly
helps.
Lighter, yeah.
Yeah.
But you've got a larger body, assumedly, to accommodate
the sensor and all the extra components in there because it has a top LCD screen. It has more buttons on the back. It has a spin dial. You have access to a lot more of your more used functions through buttons rather on something like the T3i, where you're actually going to be a little bit struggling to get to some of the features that you want to have on your camera at your fingertips. You're going to have to go through menus, press extra buttons to do that. So the bigger body also accommodates for those as well.
See, this is a minor feature for some, but I happen to like the LCD swivel pop-out screen, flip it back. I'm a huge fan of that, and I've been...
See, I happen to like that, too. So I wish this would have it, but it doesn't. So, I mean, that's one thing that I really wish this had, but, it's it's minor.
Right, it's just one feature. So, yes, it's twice as expensive. Do you find that the shots that you took, because you're upgrading from a T2i, this is a T3i again, your T2i, you're upgrading to this. Mm-hmm. Did you really, truly see a difference in shots? Because for most people, they just take a picture and they're good to go. Did you see a fundamental difference, not just between the different lenses on the T2i that you used and the Canon 5D Mark III? Was it faster? Was it cleaner? Was it easier? Was the price justified between those two cameras?
Short answer, yes. Because the larger sensor allows for cleaner images at lower ISOs, which I really like because I like to shoot at a low ISO. Higher the ISO, you get to noise. I'm really kind of picky about my photos that I take. And I like to post-process them, which is something that I really like to do. I found, yes, I did find an increased image quality on my photos overall, but I think that was in combination with the better lens, right, in combination with the body as well. So over my T2i, there was a dramatic difference to my image quality is what I was shooting at. I was able to shoot faster with this camera than I was with my T2i. I'd have to stop it down a little bit because the sensor wasn't up there to get those low light shots.
And see that, and even if we're comparing the T2i, T3i, T4i, I just want to make it very, very clear. Again, it's difficult to compare the two because we're talking about two completely different series of cameras. And it very much, Canon, I think, has done an outstanding job with the T series, if I can say TXI, whatever the number is going to be in the middle, and certainly upgrading, options in each one of those lines. What I found with my T3i, I was extremely disappointed with the video recording features in the T3i. And I did, research and knew kind of what I was getting into, but ultimately I just found it to be not as good as I would have hoped it to be. Has the video recording capabilities in the 5D Mark III been remarkably better than your experiences with the T series of Canon products?
Yes, I've only done a couple testings with it, but with my initial testings, I found a great advantage to the video recording on the 5D Mark III over the T2i. First off, for how long you can record, you're limited to 12 minutes on the T3i.
Frustrating to me.
And on the 5D Mark III, you're limited to 29 minutes and 59 seconds to avoid a European tax law. They have that to avoid a European tax law.
Right, fair enough.
So the longer recording time allows for me to make more mistakes without having to go back,
edit.
Yeah. So that has been a big improvement. I have a lot more raw control over my video recording, in such that I can have uncompressed video rather over compressed video. I can choose different frame rates of video as well. I have a lower ISO options included with that, and I have mic control, which is one big thing. You have raw mic control that you can use to adjust the volume of your mic, because with the T3i, you have auto gain control. You don't really have a lot of control over that mic. Yeah. Now I have an external mic, but I can still control it a lot better with the 5D Mark III over the T3i. And with the T2i, with my T2i, I used to use a project called Magic Lantern to record with my recordings, because it let me turn off auto gain control, let me boost up the audio. So that extended my abilities, but this does it all natively within the package.
Nice. So any other major differences that you've discovered in your usage or even in your research between the 5D Mark III and, let's say, the T3i, T4i, T2i, that general series?
One thing that I really like is that I can have custom modes. So it has 3 custom modes on the top that I can turn the dial to, and you can set those up to be specific to the shot you're taking. So if I'm doing portraits, I can set it up with a lower ISO, create adjustments to the picture quality. So those custom modes really help out when you have like specific settings that you like to shoot at with different scenes.
Fair enough. Any other differences?
That
jump out at you other than what we have covered? Yeah, fair enough. So I'm certainly going to be interested in seeing what kind of videos you produce with that thing, because maybe that will push me to upgrading. This camera's not bad. I mean, it's an okay camera, although I'm having problems with this microphone at that. But anyway, thanks for helping us compare these two.
Thanks.